Hey, everybody, and welcome to big episode number 2 of the 5th season of the Fantasy Fullback Dive, brought to you by the good people at the Roto Street Journal. I, of course, am your host, Nat the Truth Jones, and I am happy to be, even here in the 5th season, hosting a podcast that's going to be paving the way to fantasy glory, even though the fantasy season is long gone. It's only the degenerates right now that are listening to podcasts about stuff like this. But anyway, I'm your host, Nat the Truth Jones. Joining me, as always, the Wolf of Roto Street himself. But not just the Wolf of Roto Street himself. No, I've got them all. We have the Duck himself. The Duck preparing for marriage and life beyond is joining us in the upper left-hand corner. Right, there we go. That should be your signature sign on Pistol to the Head. We've also got Keegs reporting from somewhere, possibly Aaron Hernandez's old prison cell. I'm not sure. But there he is. It's nice to have Keegs with us. And CJ, who is snuggling up, possibly in a little bit too familiar of a way, with a large body pillow. And that's my group. That's my 4. We were going to have Jimbo Slice on, but he was unprepared. Usually when Jimbo's unprepared, he's just like, oh, my power went out. And then he's gone. But this time he just elected not to come on the show. We had to turn away guests. We literally had to turn away guests. But I'm thrilled to have you guys on today. We're going to be doing Super Bowl 54. Man, I hope it's 54. I just kind of threw a number out there. Prop bets. And we're going to have a lot of fun today. How are you guys doing? It's been a while.
Hell yeah, man. It's great to hear the voice. Great to be back in the last game of the 2019 season. I guess 2020, whatever the fuck you call this at this point. It's just great to wrap it up with a great tradition of the RSJ. I think it's our 3rd time ever doing the roundtable prop bets. It's always a hit of an episode, a great way to kind of package up last season, and then we just move forward with 2020, baby. So I'm thrilled. Even though I feel like I don't know about you, CJ and Keegs, but I feel like a spoiled little bitch because I'm like, the Patriots aren't in it this year, so I mean, I guess I'll watch the Super Bowl. We're kind of assholes in that sense, and it's true. I mean, they're not in it, so I don't.
You're like a huge asshole.
I feel like it's not even on this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? In contrast, I feel like this is like the most interesting Super Bowl that's come around in a long time. I mean, the Eagles-Patriots ended up being great, but I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about this Super Bowl.
Absolutely. No, I'm thrilled too. And the way we'll structure this here, we're going to break down the actual game. So we have like the kind of a Super Bowl preview through a betting lens with our resident addicts here. And we'll go through the players, all the props that we love. And then we'll kind of do the fun halftime show, other weird ass bets that we really can't wait to throw in and see what happens too. So I'm thrilled to break it down with the boys here. It should be a great one.
Can I ask all you Patriots homers, like, how threatened are you by this whole Jimmy G thing? Like, basically, we have 2 quarterbacks that are going out. We have a quarterback who's far more talented than Brady ever was on his best day, and one who's much more handsome than Brady was on his best day, going head to head. That's got to be stinging you guys in a lot of uncomfortable ways, right?
Keith, you want to take this?
I mean, are you just utterly threatened by this?
No, because one, I'm happy for Jimmy. Like, we can be happy for the guy. I wanted him to be the next guy up. He came around a few years too early, so be it. But also, I mean, the guy was 6 of 10 for 70 yards on NFC Championship. Like, if he just does that again, like, only like the Felger and Maz of the world are really gonna think like, oh, we should have kept this guy. We're screwed now. Like, I don't know. Like, you stick Brady, you stick Jacoby Brissett, you stick anybody as quarterback of the Niners, and they're probably in the Super Bowl. So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I respect your response to that, but let's not sell Jimmy G short, and let's not sell the handsomeness short. I mean, he's a very attractive man. My wife's really into Jimmy G, and she hates Tom.
Yes. Oh yeah, there's no denying that.
He's way hotter than Tom.
Oh yeah, on Tom's best day, definitely.
In a different way.
Yeah, like Tom keeps aging well. It's just like a fuck, marry, kill thing. I'm screwing Jimmy because he's just so damn sexy for one timer. But Tom is just at age 60, the guy's going to be even hotter than he is today. He just keeps getting better and better.
And he's growing hair.
Yeah,
like his hair is like sprouting in places it doesn't usually. Duck, you've been a little bit silent during this opening. What are your thoughts on the whole handsome Jimmy versus Mahomes breakdown, and Brady being conspicuously absent from the scene? Thank God.
My first observation was Mr. Body Pillow Cuddler back there talking about how hot Tom Brady is. That just raises a lot of alarms in my head.
No, it's Jimmy G.
Oh, yeah. Either way, you're getting a chub for something that's not a pregnant woman, so at least that's considered progress, I suppose.
People are coming out guns blazing here early on in the prop bet. Go ahead, Duck.
Brady only wishes he could be half the natural passer that Mahomes is, and I'm one of the biggest Brady homers ever. And Jimmy G wishes he had Patrick Mahomes' system. We'll see. Mahomes wishes he looks like Garoppolo. Everyone wishes they look like Garoppolo, and Garoppolo wishes they'd shut up.
That was succinct. That was straight to the point, and we appreciate your candor. We're going to get right into the Super Bowl spread. Like you guys are saying, you're disappointed. Oh, the Patriots aren't in the Super Bowl. It's like the Super Bowl would have absolutely sucked if the Patriots were in it. This is the Super Bowl kind of that the people deserved. I feel like the Saints once again managed to lay an egg. I would have liked the Saints coming out of the NFC. Maybe the Niners, but of course they managed to not get it done yet again. So we got this great Chiefs-Niners matchup. The line right now, the Chiefs are 1.5-point favorites. We got a 54.5-point over/under. So I'm just going to go around real quick. I mean, that's, I guess, the first prop of the day. I'm going to say, what do you think of the spread? Who do you like? How do you see this game going? Game flow, score, anything else you want to throw in there? Keegs, we're going to start with you. What do you think of the spread? What do you think of the over/under? Who's coming out on top?
The spread's interesting. I like the Chiefs if we're looking at them at -1.5. I think it's going to be close throughout and especially early. And I honestly thought the Niners were gonna be like 3-4 point favorites from this, and it would have made me feel better about throwing a little on the Chiefs. But I still like them. It's basically a pick 'em at that point, and I don't know. Just that offense. I don't know if you stop it for 4 quarters.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the over/under? I mean, 54.5. You got a great defense. You got saying the Chiefs are an explosive offense seems like an understatement. I could see it going either way. Do you like the over or the under?
I definitely like the under. It sucks to root for the under, especially in a game that, for the first time in 4 years, I don't have like an emotional interest in this game. So I'd like to just sit back and root for 85 points, but I think the under is more realistic.
Okay, so final score, putting you on the spot. What do you think? I mean, obviously, it sounds like you like the Chiefs in a close one and not that high scoring.
I'm going to say 24-18.
Okay, 24-18 Chiefs. Duck is like he's up in the left-hand corner of my screen.
Exactly.
There. It's like
wait a minute, that was like one of those Chris Berman predictions when he's like, they're going to win this game 11-9.
What was that NFC Championship game a long time ago with the Rams and the Bucks? It was like 12-5 or something. The Sean King Bucks. Just to throw.
I don't know if any of us were alive for that one, dude. Always able to date yourself, Nat.
You're lost. Go ahead, Duck. You're wincing. You're cringing. You didn't like that 24-18 per day. I wonder what do you think? You like 6 field goals for the Niners? You think Robbie Gould's going to have a huge game?
Hey, now we're talking my language. No,
go ahead, Duck.
Get that garbage out of here. I'm mashing the over on both of these. Actually, we could break it down, get into the analytics of it. Matter of fact, I think I will. The Chiefs, they have one of the best offenses we've ever seen, certainly probably the most explosive offense that we've ever seen. The 49ers, they actually struggled quite a lot through most of the year against explosive offenses. They gave up large chunk plays, particularly in the run game. The speedy receivers gave them fits. Well, Patrick Mahomes has more speedy receivers than a track whatever. You get what I'm saying. I got the Chiefs almost score. Actually, I have them scoring 40 points on their own, if that tells you anything where I'm going with this. And I think the 49ers ground game will be able to keep it close early, but eventually it's just going to be too much. I'm absolutely mashing the over. The Chiefs win similar fashion to how it went with Tennessee. I've got the Chiefs winning 41-28.
41-28, that almost sounds like an actual possible football score. As opposed to
Say what you want. I don't know.
Come on, man. This is a prop bet show. You're supposed to throw a couple safeties in there. Wolf, what do you think? What do you think of the spread, over, under? What are your thoughts on the game?
I'm definitely more with the Duck. I think it's going to be closer than that, but I am hitting the over. And an interesting stat is that the underdogs in Super Bowls are 7-4 since the 2008. So it does seem to favor San Fran. I do think San Fran's definitely the more complete team. There's just this Destiny-style feel to Mahomes and Andy Reid finally getting the monkey off his back, and I do think that happens. But I think it's going to come down to the last possession. I do think we're going to get one of those back-and-forth battles that Mahomes maybe leads a game winner drive, similar to what we saw in that Pats game. Unfortunately, not the right outcome. But I do think we're going to get a classic Super Bowl here. I do think it's going to go over. I'm thinking, 35 to, 28 maybe. That's even like too distant in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a touchdown differential. So I love this one. 35-31. I think the Chiefs pull it out, but it could go either way. I really love this game. I'm excited for it. As excited as you could be with the Patriots not being in there.
CJ, thoughts? I mean, what do you think? Is the body pillow even really a body pillow, or do you have?
Oh yeah, no, it's a full.
Is somebody in there like
5 feet tall?
All right, talk to us. What are your thoughts on the game? On the big game, not the Super Bowl, the big game.
I'm going to say I'm the one that likes the 49ers, I guess. I think they can control the clock a little bit, keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. That worked for Houston for a little bit, for about a quarter and a half. And I don't know, I think they could kind of just control the clock and just do whatever they want to do for a little bit. It's going to be.
I think you shared that stat with me at dinner the other day. Where isn't it like they're ranked the Chiefs like dead last against I formation, and nobody runs more I formation than the Niners, something like that nature.
It was like, I think it was the Niners run the most out of the I formation first in the league and have the most yards out of the I formation, and then the Chiefs have given up the most yards against the I formation. Yeah. So I think they could. I'm guessing like a 27-24, 27-21, one of those around there. So I'm going to stay under and 49ers win.
All right. For the record, I'm also taking the Niners 24-20. I also think the under is the way to go. I just look at the eye test. I don't have any eye formation stats. I'm just I watched these games, and the Niners just seem like they're the best team. I get that the Chiefs can score 35 points in a quarter, potentially. And I suppose that could happen. But I think I'm going with the Niners. I just don't see them giving up that number of points, and I think their running game has just looked practically unstoppable.
It will be interesting to see, too, because both coaches have that choke artist history, right? Kyle Shanahan, 28-3, and then you got Andy Reid, who just has never won a big game. So somebody's going to finally get that monkey off their back, and then somebody's going to just be that much lower in that type of regard. So I'm very intrigued to see which one takes it.
I think we're all in a position, because of that, it's a good point. We're all in a position where no result is going to really surprise us.
Right.
It's like you think the Chiefs are going to win. If the Chiefs lose 45-10, how shocked are you really going to be? You're not going to be that shocked.
Mahomes will put up 10 points. They're going to put up some fucking points.
What if Andy Reid just decides he's going to power run with Damian Williams for 3 quarters?
He's smarter than
that's
that.
Shocked, right?
They'd have better running it with Andy Reid.
He is half walrus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think that Andy Reid? I know this is one of the prop bets at the end, but we're talking about all these crazy prop bets that I'm hoping you guys will bring up at the end. What odds do you think you could get on Andy Reid admitting that he's at least part genetically a walrus in his post game acceptance, or not just post game acceptance speech? It could also be his head's down at the press conference. They've just lost the game, and he's just like, I don't know, things didn't work out. My grandfather was half walrus, and the walrus DNA has really finally caught up to me.
It pans to the audience. It's like Andy Reid's family's here, and there's his father's a walrus clapping, fucking flapping some fins in the crowd. Now it all makes sense.
The ticker at the bottom, Niners win Super Bowl 45-10. Reid admits he's 1/16th walrus.
I see it happen. Yeah.
Is Andy Reid and Jason Garrett related?
The clapper? Yeah. Seriously.
That's a hot take. Okay. Let's I don't know if they are, but let's go with it. All right, who's going to win the Super Bowl MVP? We have a pretty awesome array of MVP possible winners. If you're like Keegs and you think Robbie Gould's going to kick 6 field goals, plus 10,000, he's not bad odds. Mahomes, the clear favorite at 115, plus 115. Jimmy G at plus 275. Mostert at plus 550, and then Kittle at plus 1,000, and then you kind of go up from there. We're going to start with CJ. Who do you like to win the MVP?
I just want to say that last year I did hit Edelman.
You did.
I just want to remind everyone that.
I feel like you earned the pole position.
This year I don't really have a great feeling. I would be boring to say if the Chiefs win, it is Mahomes. I don't see anyone else. The funniest one I was thinking would be Tyreek Hill. Imagine the NFL throwing Tyreek Hill on the MVP podium after this offseason. he should be plus 10,000. He could have 15 touchdown catches. He's not not even touching it.
No, he could have done more.
So yeah, I mean, Mahomes is the easy decision. I like Kittle a little bit. I'm not personally going to take this. I don't really feel comfortable with it, but Mostert's another easy decision. There's no kind of random guy, like a low odds guy that I love, so I'm just going to be boring and say those guys.
Four of the top 6 guys on the sheet you're going with?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's the type of in-depth analysis we're looking for.
Very bold.
Keith, you got any? I mean, he took pretty much all of them. You got anybody else?
The quarterbacks are obviously the safe pick. I was looking into it a little for the article I was putting out, and for non-QBs, the last 15 or so years, it's been a couple wide receivers and like a linebacker here and there, and that's it. So I think that kind of sets the tone going in. I think for the Chiefs, if it's not Mahomes, it's going to be one of the guys he's throwing to because it's going to mean that he had a huge game. So I like Watkins. He's plus 5,500. He had a massive AFC Championship game after shitting his pants for 17 straight weeks since week 1. And I think just if you're the Niners, you're game planning for Mahomes, obviously, for Hill, for Kelsey, all these weapons, and maybe a guy like Watkins or maybe McCole Hardman kind of sneaks in there, gets a couple long touchdowns, racks up 220 yards, and they just throw him a bone with the MVP. I mean, it's going to be Mahomes if they win, but if it's not, might as well go for the odds there. And then San Francisco, if they win it, it's going to mean their defense came out to play. And if their defense came out to play, I think it's going to be big Bosa game. So Nick Bosa, plus 1,800 is a good one.
Every time Keegs says anything, Duck's just beside himself.
Everybody.
And on my screen, Duck, I don't know how he is on you guys. He's right above Keegs, and so he's just
staring down.
This is like watching. Are you guys too young to have ever watched Hollywood Squares?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I love Hollywood Squares.
All right, well, you know how they're in the big 3x3 grid and someone below them will say, and they look down like they're angry. That's kind of how Duck's coming off here with Keegs' commentary. Duck, who do you like?
90s TV just made it out to Kentucky, so he's watching the episode.
He's watching the 1990s Atlanta Braves in his spare time. Anyway, all right, go ahead, Duck.
How'd you guys know I was a Braves fan?
Because you live in 1990s Kentucky.
Fair enough. Anyways, Keegs, get out of my head, bud. You were crushing it. I had it written down that it's going to be Pat Mahomes because I have him putting up a ridiculous stat line in this game and carrying the Chiefs. But you took my other guy, except it wasn't Sammy. It was McCole Hardman. He's the guy that's going to have nobody looking at him. Sammy still has that name value for whatever reason, I don't know, and he did catch that touchdown last week. Everybody's going to be watching Tyreek. Who's going to cover Hardman, who's I firmly believe is faster than Tyreek Hill? Who's going to cover him?
Yeah.
And like you said, if it's going to be in San Francisco, it's going to be because the defense is all over Mahomes, and that only spells Bosa. I was really upset when you said Bosa. I wanted to come to that screen and slap you.
See, I misread your reaction. I thought your reaction
was
like you're a moron, but really it was like it's one brain, right?
Yeah, I wanted to come through the screen and slap him because I was going to be the one that looked clever instead of him. Now I'm just piggybacking off of him and his crap.
And his genius.
Yeah, that too.
24-18, baby.
Right, 20.
Well, if that's the case, it has to be Robbie Gold. He was money. He was gold.
Plus 10,000. Don't sleep on him. Wolf, what do you think?
I agree with what everyone's saying. I wouldn't put any money on any Chiefs other than Mahomes. If he wins, he's the NFL darling. He's going to be the MVP no matter what happens in this game. So I'm not wasting any money on Watkins or Hardman. I would probably put some money on those guys in player props. They both have some very interesting ones. I know maybe some of you guys have those saved up when we get to player props. But it's either Mahomes or I'm actually going the opposite route here. If the Niners win, I think they have to win in a track race. And if that happens, I think it's George Kittle. The Chiefs are horrible against the tight end. I think Garoppolo, we saw that type of track meet game against the Saints earlier this year. He put up 350 and 4 TDs. I wouldn't be shocked if Kittle has a monster game. We'll look at those player props in a second. I can give you the stat line I'm predicting. But plus 1,000, I just see him, if the Niners do somehow win. Kittle's been so quiet these last 2 games. We can all see this guy just going completely apeshit, complete bananas. And I think plus 1,000 for the stats I'm thinking he's going to put up. That's where I'm going with my money if I'm not going Mahomes.
Do you guys think the odds on Byron Pringle are too high or too low? Plus 55,000.
I mean, you could go Dante Pettis instead, or Jordan Matthews, a nice 55,000.
No, Pringle could slide in there, and they're saying, everyone's going to be paying attention to Tyreek Hill. Who's no one paying attention to? He's like, Hardman. I was like, I can think of somebody nobody's paying attention to if that's the criteria for winning. I don't think anyone's been paying attention to Byron Pringle for quite some time. 55,000 plus, you put down $1, win 550. That's the value bet. But in all seriousness, I also kind of like Bosa on the San Francisco side, and you probably kind of have to be insane to pick anybody but Mahomes. But at the end of the day, they don't tell me they don't want Jimmy G up on that podium. The guy's extremely handsome. All right, let's go to number 3. Who will the MVP? Now, keep in mind, a lot of this comes down to who you think the MVP is going to be. For instance, you guys probably have thought, what would Mahomes say? But I've been spending the last few hours thinking, what would Byron Pringle say when he gets up on the stand? Like, what's he going to say? Who's he going to thank? What's Byron Pringle all about? All right, who's the MVP?
He's family and friends for sure.
Oh, sure, yeah. He's going to, thank all of his buddies, the people that he grew up with in the state that he grew up in. MVP mentioning first in his speech, teammates plus 115, God a close second at plus 250. You don't want to sleep on God there. The city or any city. Now the question is, does that mean the team city or just any city? Like, can you get up there and be like, thank you Sacramento, California, or thank you Tucson, Arizona? Does that count? I don't know. Coach plus 500, plus 1,600, family or family members, or as we call it, the Pringle bet. And does not mention any of the above plus 575. Wolf, who's Byron Pringle going to mention first on this?
Again, if it's Pringle, obviously family. We know he's a huge family guy. Every Sunday after the games, he goes home for dinner. Huge family man. But Mahomes, I think he's going teammates. I mean, I get there is the narrative if Mahomes wins, he's like, this one's for my coach because it's his first win ever in the Super Bowl. I see it, and I guess if I'm chasing money, like plus 500's a solid odds there. But they always, I don't know the stats. I actually would be intrigued to know what is the most common thing, but I feel like it's teammates almost like 9 out of 10 times. He is, though, Mahomes, a Christian man. I just Googled, is Mahomes religious? And there's a lot about him being a very religious, Christian faith man. So God could be in there, but I'm going teammates when Mahomes wins.
I mean, he's no Phillip Rivers.
No, God, no. 10 children. He's not going to fake his family in that sense. It's the teammates. I'm going Mahomes teammates.
What do you think the odds are someone gets up there to, accept, and they're about to start their speech, and then Phillip Rivers' music starts playing, and he runs down the aisle and knocks him out of the way just so he can thank God before anybody else can get to the
Dadgummit.
Probably, dadgummit. You should have thanked
freaker. I love God.
CJ, what do you think the MVP is where is he gonna go with his speech?
We should let Keegs go first because I'm gonna steal his luster, so I'm gonna let him take his pick.
All right, Keegs. All right, you've been given
all your luster.
God, I liked his article. That's why my little light bulb went off when I heard it.
Thank you. Such a selfless man. Yeah, we'll going off the article, which you can read now on rotostreetjournal.com. If it's Mahomes, I think he goes coach. Wolf talked about, the narrative that he was blowing off. But really, I think Mahomes idolizes Andy Reid to a certain extent. And, someone with so much experience who's done so much in this league and still hasn't won a big one. So I think, in general, obviously the Chiefs, want to win it for a variety of reasons. But I think a big part of it is, getting that monkey off Andy Reid's back. It must be a big-ass monkey sitting on his back.
Gorilla.
That walrus.
But if it's the Niners and it's Jimmy G, I like family. And my I know Jimmy G, that he's probably got like a big Italian family with like 12 brothers or something. But also Jimmy is a ladies' man through and through. He knows what he's doing up there, and he knows that nothing will get the white women of America wetter than him going up there and shouting out his mom on national TV. They're going to love it, and he's going to be swimming in it for weeks. Not that he wouldn't be anyway. So I like family if it's Jimmy G.
That'll be good for him because, yeah, he's probably having a hard time sealing the deal with some of these women right now.
Yeah, he definitely struggles.
Yeah,
I would say, to go off that, I would say, I don't know that if he's done this before, but I assume when Brady's won the MVP, he's probably gone with his parents first, and he's probably just going to copy whatever Brady said.
All right, that's fair. Duck, what do you think?
If it's Mahomes that wins the MVP, he's going to thank the people that create his earplugs to keep that annoying, shrill girlfriend of his out of his ears. But, yeah, obviously I think he's going to go with his family first, especially that girlfriend, because she's going to go on a tirade in his ears if she does not get some love and respect right off the bat.
I was gonna say I could see Mahomes like thanking his dad or something like that.
Whew. And if it's Jimmy G, he's gonna thank his beautician. I mean,
what about that porn star he dated?
I don't know. Maybe she gave him something. He's not gonna thank her.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're gonna move forward. First touchdown scored in the big game, Damian Williams, Raheem Mostert, those are your favorites. But Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Kittle following shortly thereafter. CJ, who do you like to score the first touchdown in the Super Bowl?
I was kind of annoyed when Duck started talking about McCole Hardman for everything because he's on a lot of my prop bets. So I'm going to say something like this. I'd do McCole Hardman. I like the odds. I don't really like to pick favorites in these and just kind of random. So
Plus 2,000 Hardman. Okay, so 20-1 odds on him. Keegs, who do you like?
I'm going Manuel Sanders at plus 1,600 right now. I think he's had a really slow playoff for them, and I think if they're going to do anything through the passing game, they're going to have to get him going early, and I think they'll emphasize him. They get down to the red zone. I'll get the first one.
Duck, who's getting in the end zone first?
San Francisco's getting in the end zone first. The first 15 plays or whatever are usually very heavily scripted. You don't really see many trick plays, so half that list on the bottom is gone. I'm inclined to say it's going to be Deebo Samuel. He's, aside from Kittle, the featured receiver on that team. And Tevin Coleman, usually the goal line back. We don't even know if he's playing for sure. So I'm betting on like a little 3-yard out to Deebo. Deebo's great at creating separation. I'm going Deebo.
During that whole take, we've seen you look disgusted during some takes. The Wolf looked concerned. That's the look I would best get. He was like pensive and then maybe a little bit concerned. What's on your mind, Wolf?
Coleman practiced in full today, and he's expected to go. And as you mentioned, the goal line black, you're getting plus 1,600 on that. I would not be shocked at all. Everybody looking at Mostert after that huge week. I could see Coleman. I mean, there's a bet where for him to get 2 touchdowns is like over 2,000. So I don't hate the Coleman play. I don't hate either. Tyreek Hill's plus 900. Like, who would be shocked if this game opens up with just a Tyreek Hill cheetah given the peace sign? Plus 900 is great, but I'm sticking with my man Kittle. I think he's going to blow up. We're going to get to the player props in a second, and I think he starts off the scoring and he just keeps it going all game. So I'm all about the Kittle blow up plus 1,000. I think it's a great early bet, and again, he's going to light up the scoreboard this week.
I'm also going with Kittle at plus 1,000. All the reasons the Wolf said. He's a smart guy.
I'll shout out CJ too, though. You said earlier Mahomes, running a lot more often. We saw that great run against Tennessee where he broke like 8 tackles. A Q Sneak getting in there at plus 2,000. If you guys are going for Hardman and all these others, to me the Mahomes one seems that much more realistic, especially the way he's been taken off lately. So if I'm going real big odds, I don't hate that one at all.
Do any of you guys, are any of you in like a Super Bowl like square pool where you get the squares with the score in them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in one.
Why not?
Yeah, yeah, I'm in one too. It was randomly assigned numbers and stuff like that, and I got a really good number. I got 0-7, and so I'm very excited about this. Like I rarely do these things, but when Duck said the 49ers are going to score first, that made me very excited because I have 0 Chiefs, 7 49ers. So that's like a number you could get that every quarter potentially, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's what if you got like 4-8 or something, for instance?
That's what I'm saying. 4-8, baby.
Man, this sucks.
We're just glossing over.
Field goals.
We're just glossing over. Can someone tell me what 8 plus 7 plus 3 is?
18.
There we go.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
10 touchdown with a 2 late.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Also, 8 plus 8 plus 2. So touchdown, 2-point conversion twice, and then a safety. So don't rule that out. All right. I want 3 player props, over under TDs, whatever you feel good about per position, and I want at least one Hail Mary that is like plus 500 or better. I'm going to start with the Wolf. Who you got? What are some of your favorite player props for the game?
Pretty much they're going to all be Hail Marys. I do my betting just like my DFS. I don't go for 50-50s, good sure things. If you want a sure thing, will Kansas City have a rushing touchdown in the first half, plus 115? Yes, that's the surest, thing I think. Easily either Damian Williams or Mahomes. But other than that, I like to go for the blow-ups. So I'd like Jimmy G for 302 TDs at 250. And I also think, though, if he's going to go for 300, he's probably going to be going for like 350. So there's also the spicier 325 and 2 TDs at 375. So I like that a lot. My Hail Mary, though, I do think Mahomes is also going for 403. Again, I'm always the optimist, just fantasy blow-up stats.
You are.
I think it's going to be a track meet, though. I really do think it's going to be like that Saints one. I'm not seeing the tough defense because they do so many RPOs. I saw another great stat. I think CJ showed me that one, where the only 2 teams to put up a lot of points against the Niners were the Cardinals and the Saints, and both run the RPOs more than anybody other than the Chiefs, who run it more than anyone in the NFL, and that breaks down the zone defense that they run so well. So I can see Mahomes just lighting up the scoreboard, Jimmy G having to play catch-up mode. But the one I really feel good about, if Jimmy G is playing that catch-up mode, he's going to be going to Kittle early and often, and there's a plus 3,500 for Kittle to go 150 and 2 TDs. Now, if he does that, I think he's a lock for MVP. So you lock in plus 1,000 plus this stat line for George Kittle. You're looking at a ridiculous parlay that could just blow up. And if you don't want to be that risky, he's only plus 550 for 120 and a score for Kittle, and he's plus 800 for 2 TDs. So there's a lot of different parlays, angles to attack Kittle. But I'm interested to hear what you guys say, but they have all these interesting player parlays now on Bovado. So now it's like you just pick who do you think is going to blow up and who's going to have that monster stat line, and you go with them. And to me, it's going to be Kittle. He's the guy I see just lighting up this game.
CJ, rebuttal?
I'm sticking with McCole Hardman still. There's the 49ers, their defense, their secondary is so fucking slow, and if they get him into man coverage, they're going to get roasted. A lot of eyes on Tyreek. I just think he really has a chance to. And with him, if he only needs to catch 3 or 4 balls to go over 100. So I have him. The easiest, in my opinion, the easiest bet, it is minus 120, but his over under for total yardage is 24.5 yards. That's 1 catch for him. And then his whatever that was, that player prop thing that Cherkoff was talking about, 100 plus yards and only 1 touchdown is plus 3,000. 100's win 3,000. Might as well.
Might as well. Keegs, what do you think?
I got a couple of Mahomes ones. Mahomes attempts over 35.5. I think it's just, it's modern day NFL. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's going to throw 40 passes. That's minus 135, so that's a soft one, but it's an easy one. Mahomes 2+ touchdown passes in any quarter is plus 235. I like that. Maybe go off in the second quarter, get another one late. I've talked myself into yes on if there's going to be a flea flicker, because I've just run it through in my head, and I think it's the perfect move for both teams, because either the Chiefs are loading up the box against a team that runs like crazy, you flip it back to Jimmy and he's actually got an open throw to make, or San Francisco's trying to take advantage of when the Chiefs are susceptible when they run the ball, and then you flip it back, you got Tyreek Hill already got half a step on a DB, it's game over. And then for a little more of a Hail Mary, Chiefs win by between 7 and 12 points, plus 450.
Okay, all pretty solid picks. I also have convinced myself there's going to be a flea flicker. I don't even know which team. I could see both teams trying it, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Doc, what do you think?
Everybody's been stealing about everything I had written down. I had, like Wolf was talking about, Kittle just absolutely dominating this game, making Kelsey look like the second best tight end in the game, because he is. I have Kittle going for 120 plus and 2 scores. I have Mahomes 38 pass attempts. I was very specific with it, completing over 65% of his passes for 400 plus and 3 touchdowns. So Wolf was in my head there. But and then CJ was talking about Mecole Hardman. I had Hardman for 150 plus and a touchdown.
Damn.
Wow.
I think
a
that
lot of
was
Nicole Hardman love on this show.
Wolf.
Today.
Wasn't that plus 8,000 to go over 125 and a touchdown?
Yeah, it was. So you got to go for that, Duck. Throw a quick 10 spotter on there, and you're winning $800 if McColl does what you think he's going to do. And again, the case isn't horrible. Their receivers are slow as all hell. I mean, I might have been completely wrong on that, but yeah, it's. Did you say how much, CJ, for $10? Isn't it 800?
I said throw 50 on for 4,000.
Oh yeah, seriously, imagine that.
That'll pay for like a chunk of that wedding.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy! And if I lost it, you would be searching for a new content provider. I would be hanging from a noose.
You guys, seriously, we have to agree right now. If Byron Pringle has even one big play, like we have to agree that like you're gonna like send me some sort of reverent texts where you're just like, man, you're a really, really solid asset to the program. Okay.
Oh wait, Nat, can I have one? I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought we were just talking player props, but I did have a few, like one smaller one that
Lay it on.
I don't know. This is just kind of off the top of my head, but I don't know. It feels like it happens almost every year that the kicker hits the upright, either on an extra point or a field goal in the Super Bowl. I think it's happened like 4 to 5 years or something. Yeah, I don't even know if that's a fact, but it's plus 350. So that was one that
I think it happened last year.
It happened in the Atlanta Super Bowl, and it happened in the Eagles too, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I actually looked at that one, thought about it too, because I don't have the numbers, but it also seems like that happens more often than it doesn't.
I really like that. Keegs, you said it was plus 235 for Mahomes to throw multiple TDs in one quarter.
Yeah, plus 235.
I didn't see that one. That's like a lock in my opinion. That he is absolutely going to throw at least two. You know, they do that so often. Just we saw 24 points in one quarter against the fucking Texans earlier this offseason. I really love that one. That's a great one.
Texans, give me a fucking break.
A joke, but
the Texans.
It's going to happen. Easily throwing 2+ TDs.
At least they have a good GM now.
Well, who's their GM?
God.
Who's their GM?
Bill
now?
O'Brien. Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah, let's watch this inept baboon. Let's keep giving him power.
They gave him a promotion?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Oh my God.
Like that little big league.
Paying any attention to anything for the last couple weeks or whatever. That's terrible. All right, pregame props, national anthem props. How long is it going to take Demi Lovato to sing the national anthem? Over 2 minutes. That's a smart bet, I guess. Minus 260, under 2 minutes. We are just flying through at plus 175. We're going to go around rapid fire. Duck, what do you think? You're mad because everyone keeps taking yours, so I'm going to you first on the Demi Lovato one.
Yeah. That song's not usually sung at a high tempo. I pay a lot of attention to music. That girl has got a cast iron set of pipes. She can pierce the air. She loves doing long, drawn-out solo. She's going about 20 seconds over 2 minutes. All right, Wolf.
Cast iron set of pipes. You fucking kidding me? Holy shit. She's definitely going over. I agree with everything, but holy hell. Oh my God. Cast iron set of pipes.
This is what happens when Duck gets to go first. When no one steals his thunder, he gives you gems like that. Go ahead.
CJ, what do you think?
Oh, me? Oh, I didn't. It cut out. So I'm gonna. This is like a sketchy Vegas number. It's such a low total. I'm gonna go under.
Oh wow. Okay. Kings, what do you think?
As the resident expert here with a 3-year winning streak here on the national anthem, and always being that weird guy in the corner that's got a stopwatch out while everyone's listening to the anthem and the girls are wondering what the hell I'm doing. I'm taking the over, but I'm not betting it because minus 260 is not even worth it.
Yeah, I'm also taking the over. I know of, I believe, 2 other national anthems that Demi Lovato has sung at fairly high-profile events. I feel like there was maybe a World Series game and maybe some sort of All-Star game in the last couple of years, and she went over 2 minutes on both of those. So I don't see any reason why she would fly through this one. This is the biggest platform you can be on. You might as well really ham it up out there. Is she going to be wearing a skirt, dress, or gown? Yes, minus 175. No, plus 135. Wolf, what do you think? Skirt, dress, or gown? I mean,
no
good
doubt.
money.
She's definitely dressing up for the biggest stage of the
dress to the nines, right?
Yep, absolutely. Not a doubt in my mind.
DJ?
Yeah, the 2 pictures that I saw of her on Google of her singing the national anthem, she's in a dress/skirt in both of those, so I'm going to say yes.
Keegs?
I'm going to go no. I don't know if you guys watched the Grammys last week, but she had a very emotional performance at the Grammys. She killed it. And also she was dressed up like crazy, had this big elaborate gown on. So I think, the following week and she's kind of a country girl. She's from like New Mexico or something weird like that. One of those places that like doesn't really exist. So I think maybe she'll tone it down a little bit and maybe just like a nice pantsuit or something.
Gaga wore a pantsuit. People forget. Exactly. Go ahead. Duck, what do you think?
I kind of took a little different route with it, but I'm going with, she's going to wear a skirt, but for kind of different reasons. This is going to sound bad, but she's coming out of rehab for like drug abuse and everything, and the attention she got was a big factor that kind of pushed her over the edge. I'm thinking she's going to want to try to stay like low profile, and so she's going to dress for the occasion.
I like that.
Fair analysis for sure.
Kind of like an ankle,
we're
like
going somewhere else.
Kind of like an ankle length, like Mormon skirt, or what?
Oh no. She'll definitely be a little bit of a harlot and show some knee.
Whoa.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, I would have went the opposite then. I would have said like a pantsuit or something. Like
what? Like sweatpants. Halftime show props. Which of these JLo songs is going to be sung first at halftime? What do you guys think? On the Floor is the current favorite. Jenny from the Block following shortly after Let's Get Loud. Live It Up. Those are the top four. Keegs, what do you think? What do you think JLo is going to start with?
Believe it or not, as you know, the resident young guy here, I guess Duck and I are comparable, I think, but I really like, I don't know, people my age, like you just know JLo as like the hot lady that's famous. I don't really know her even really as a musician, to be really honest, but obviously Jenny from the Block's a classic, and just listening to the intro, and it's just such a well-known song. I just feel like that's a good one to kind of work our way into it. So I'm going that plus 425.
Right, as the second part of the young guy tag team, what do you think, Doug?
This is the only one that I heard come up in the chat. Wolf was locking it. I'm going to steal it from you. I'm going for Waiting for Tonight.
Ah, come on. Don't steal my thunder.
Your thunder's been stolen. You get to talk dirty about her. I'm stealing your thunder right here.
That's how the youth of America are right now, Wolf. Stealing shit.
Stealing shit all the time. Well, thanks for stealing my thunder. But it's 100% plus 1,100 Waiting for Tonight. One, the odds are insane. And two, what perfect song to open up a Super Bowl set. We've all been waiting for tonight. Like, you can just see, I love parlaying this too with her being suspended in air and her like kind of flying. That's plus 300 if anybody's going to be suspended in air. She's definitely coming down suspended with like a low guy. If you know that song, it builds a lot and there's going to be a big dramatic entrance and it's going to break into, it's like one of her originals too, plus 1,100. I feel like the last few years, the artists have always gone like their first big hit, and that's one of hers, and it just fits the mood so well. So plus 1,100, such a good odd for Waiting for Tonight. It makes perfect sense. I'm all about it.
CJ, thoughts?
No, it's all right. So they're doing like this like Latino flair thing. Like let's get loud, and it's not even close. Get the crowd into it. It has like the little like jingle in the background. All like the Spanish people are going crazy.
The Latino flair. This is the universal sign for the Latino flair.
So yeah, that's what's happening. Walking up.
And Keegs, you say like you're so young, she's just this hot person. You don't really know her as a musician. I mean, I'm maybe not as young. I'm maybe a couple years older than you, but there's another demographic of people out there that aren't young but are older and were just like completely strung out on drugs on Fish Tour when she came out and doesn't know a single song she ever wrote. So,
fair.
Yeah, so we're in the same boat, but I thought your argument was pretty good. Shakira, first question. I'm just going to go around real quick. Who do you prefer? Not their music, because I know none of you listen to any of their music, but who are you more into, Shakira or JLo? Starting with you, Wolf.
Oh, it's got to be JLo, and there's just a deep-seated history there. It's actually my first ever nut was busted to JLo when I was babysitting one night, and I was like, oh,
what?
Yeah, watching my parents' house, yeah, and I had just discovered.
You were babysitting?
I wasn't even babysitting because I didn't have any younger siblings at the time, but I was watching the house.
I was like, you were out on like a babysitting?
Oh, no, God, no. I was watching. It's just, parents.
Different than babysitting.
You're like first night alone at the house, and they're finally like, yeah, we can leave, and like you're so responsible. Well, let's download some viruses on your computer. But no, she's the first ever, the nut of all time, JLo, music videos. She's got the ass. I'm an ass guy. And Shakira does too, don't get me wrong. I mean, wherever, whenever, we've all seen that. We've all enjoyed that thoroughly at one time or another. But ultimately, to me, it's JLo. It's no doubt.
CJ?
First of all, I can't wait to clip that and throw it on Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not for those people sitting.
But yeah.
There's a couple like 6-year-olds from the neighborhood. Wolf seemed like a fairly reputable guy.
Waiting for tonight.
That's like you might have just become the sketchiest RSJ guy. CJ is like, well,
yeah, he's really he's ready to get that tour spaz.
I like the older women. I like the thicker women. I'm going JLo. It's not even close.
Keegs?
I think it's close, but JLo is just timeless.
Yeah. Duck?
First off, CJ, you know at her current age, she probably can't get pregnant, right?
Yeah, she's 51, isn't she?
I don't know.
You're doing crazy things now with fertility drugs, but you make a fair point.
Yeah. But, Lord, I hope my fiance doesn't end up listening to this. It's Shakira all day, every day. Those hip gyrations are absolutely illegal.
They don't lie.
They have brought many a man into puberty, myself included. It is Shakira all day. I was, maybe 13, 14 when Hips Don't Lie came out, and I saw it whenever, wherever before then, and I was like, my jaw just kind of hit the floor. My mother looked at me funny, and I had to make up a lie real quick as to what was wrong with me. Yeah, it's Shakira all day.
It's that tiny little poke we see, Duckling.
Nothing, Mom.
I'm also gonna side with Duck and say it's Shakira definitely, and I'll follow that up with a story. I was babysitting this one time. And it's Shakira in my opinion. I've never been that into JLo. I don't know why. I think possibly it's because like she has consistently affiliated herself with guys that I think are huge douchebags, and so I suspect that she's just kind of like a douche herself. Anyway, I like Shakira better. Which songs do we think? Of these songs, what do you think Shakira is going to open with at halftime? She Wolf, Whenever, Wherever, Dare, Hips Don't Lie, La Tortura, which I believe is Spanish for the torture. Duck, what you going to open with?
La Tortura. All day, every day. The torture. I mean, she's going to be torturing us our whole performance. It's only fitting that she's going to be out there starting with that. And I really hope my fiance doesn't pay attention to me during that performance.
All right. Well,
Duckling, what's that little poke I see?
You need someone to create a diversion?
Absolutely. CJ, can you get to Kentucky?
Just like knock on the window and then just hop on a plane and get out of there. Wolf, what do you think? What you can open with?
It's got to be Hips Don't Lie. The hit of the trumpet note, what an opener that will be. And then, she comes out. She's going to come out hips blazing. Absolutely, Hips Don't Lie.
CJ?
Waka Waka.
No, that's fucking soccer. That's soccer. They already did that. Cross that one off the list. Horrible.
Wait, you know what they call soccer in the rest of the world, don't you?
Yeah, the beautiful game.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I was looking for.
I
gotta go with She-Wolf, too, by the way. It's like my namesake. She's going to be singing to me directly. She-Wolf.
Would that put her over JLo in your book if she pulls that off?
No way. First Nut always has a special place in my heart.
Have you ever babysat before?
Me?
Yeah, like for real?
I mean, yes, I have, but I did not tug to fucking JLo when I did it.
I love the fact that
more house sad.
If like you are telling a story about babysitting, you now need to just like kind of just up front be like, just to be clear, I kept it in my pants the whole time.
Thank goodness.
Keith.
I love the Waka Waka pick. First of all, that song just fucking slaps. It's so good. And I think, if JLo starts us off, giving us a little attitude, a little bit of this and that, and then you just break in with Shakira with Waka Waka, I think it's perfect.
Agreed. That's what I'm going with, too. All right, post-game props. What color game?
Hold on, me and CJ have a debate we got to settle real quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Real quick. Will they twerk is actually a bet, and twerk is defined by Bovada as a dance move involving thrusting hip movements in a low squatting stance. And
I have a follow-up question.
Plus 170 is the yes, and it's negative whatever for negative 260, I think, for the no. I think it's a lock, and CJ claims there's a cultural divide or whatever, but ultimately she has a song called like big booty, and that is pure twerk nation. Like, they both have asses. She's going to play that. They're both going to twerk to it together, probably on each other. Duck's going to lose his fucking mind, probably ruin his fiance and engagement in one fell swoop. But I'm telling you, they're twerking, and you can even pair that with will JLo show butt cleavage at plus 250. That's also happening. It's going to be the best, halftime show that anybody's ever seen.
What guy? I want to ask a question real quick. When they say will they twerk, does that mean they're twerking in unison or like?
No, it just said one of them has to twerk, but they're
no,
both going.
I think it said both.
I feel like if it's just one of them, that's money in the bank.
Quit
it
paying,
says,
CJ.
It doesn't matter. They are going to twerk. They either way, they're both going to twerk together to the big booty song, and it's going to happen. Well, so CJ, why do you think it's not? Like,
In
what's
the
your
Wolf's mind, like they're gonna
wishful thinking.
They're gonna make out and stuff.
Wardrobe malfunctions all over the place.
If you think of both of them, JLo is known for like she's a legitimate dancer. Mm-hmm. She's 50 years old and she's like one of those performers, like a backup dancer, like does like all the moves and like all that stuff. She's not a twerker. Twerker is like a 22-year-old girl at a club. Like she's never twerked in her life. And then Shakira is like the hip, like sideways, slaps her ass sideways, does all that stuff. There's no front to back for either of them, and that neither of them are gonna twerk. Neither of them are gonna bend over and shake their asses. But that's
at least as good as any of the football analysis we've gotten on this episode. That was pretty solid.
I'd say better.
Post-game props. What color Gatorade or whatever liquid it is will they be pouring on the winning coach? Lemon, the lime green, yellow cocktail, plus 400. Clear water, plus 650. Orange, plus 575. Red, plus 375. Blue, plus 750. Purple, even. Wow, even odds on the purple, huh?
CJ, you know the truth behind this. Hey. I don't even think it's a debate at this point. Let CJ reveal the truth behind this.
Go ahead.
So on Twitter, I'm in like a little gambling community a little bit, and someone texted me yesterday, and they go, hop on purple, it's plus 900 right now. And he goes, one of my friends this is like, who knows? He just like take it with a grain of salt, but just throw money on it just in case. And it makes sense. It started with the Chiefs, I believe. Their equipment manager asked for purple for Kobe Bryant as a tribute. And then that came, and then in, like a few minutes later, he was like, yeah, the 49ers are going to do the same thing. So that's why the purple, it steamed all the way from I got it plus 900 at 12 o'clock. I texted Keegs at like 1:30 or something, and it was already down to plus 350. And now it's off the book everywhere.
I just got a great text from a guy I know from Roto Street Journal.
Get bodied, CJ.
The website is Jennifer Lopez twerking in booty video.
I'll watch that later.
I don't know.
I think we'll all visit that later.
Like the JFK thing. Back and to the left. Like we were saying, like
we'll get to the film after.
All right, fair enough. All right, any other strange bets any of you guys want to talk about before we take off? Anything else that's jumped out that you just feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention it before we get off the air?
100%. I've got quite a few here that I want to make sure to cover. Most of them centered around Andy Reid. The first is, will Andy Reid eat a cheeseburger before the Super Bowl broadcast is over at plus 1,400? I gotta know though, does that mean like during the post game? Because I could totally see a joke. Because there was some sort of story that came out recently about him eating a cheeseburger like right after the game. Like, can't you see him giving his speech and like Mahomes running up like, "Coach, your favorite," and giving him a cheeseburger and him having a bite? Like, does that count as part of the broadcast, or does it mean during the game? Because that would be.
I think so.
I think the Super Bowl like speeches have to be part of the broadcast, right? Because if so, I actually don't hate that. I could see a total joke being made by like one of the players bringing him a cheeseburger while he talks. Obviously not on the sideline pulling one out of his pocket. You know, you wouldn't be surprised if he has a couple pocket cheeseburgers on it. You know, Andy Reid just needs a quick snack along the sideline. I love that one. There's also, will he wear a Hawaiian shirt during the game? I don't think that's going to happen, but man, the image of that walrus in a Hawaiian shirt on the sidelines would be be just incredible. But the one that I actually do genuinely think is a solid bet is, will a player be ejected for throwing a punch or fighting? You get plus 800 for yes, and there is clearly some hot-headed personalities on both sides of the ball that have no disregard for humanity or other, anything, any laws or rules. So a swing being thrown is, I always kind of throw one on that in the Super Bowl where emotions are at their highest, and especially with Richard Sherman, obviously Tyreek Hill on the other side. Like, there's certainly some history and bad blood between some people.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill's not playing against women or children, so
exactly.
He's probably not going to be coming out swimming. I mean, these are other men.
Exactly. But I wanted to highlight those ones. I don't know if you guys found any others that were worth mentioning.
Any other great one? By the way, just so if you're wondering, walruses generally eat mollusks like clams, stuff like that. So if somebody brought Andy Reid a couple clams on the half shell, that would probably be better.
So what we're hearing is when Belichick retires, Reid's going to come up to Boston and be the coach. All the clam chowder he can ask for.
How would you guys feel about Andy Reid becoming the coach of the New England Patriots?
I'd be fine with that.
I mean, I love Andy Reid, but if that meant Bill Belichick was like retiring and then we got Andy Reid as successor, of course. I fucking love him. Smart mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird puppy bowl bets, too. I don't know if you guys saw some of those, but like, will it be a purebred or a mixed breed? Will a puppy attempt to mate? Will a puppy attempt to mate plus 350?
I might be the oldest person here, but I know that's not okay.
Might be.
My favorite of the Puppy Bowl was, will Michael Vick send a tweet about the Puppy Bowl during it?
Yep.
Like, they're just asking for fucking backlash there. Like, what's he gonna fucking tweet? Are you kidding me?
If they made him the
if he
special
does.
guest referee.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Special guest referee.
You guys watching the Vic 30 for 30 tonight?
I didn't know there was one.
Because I sure as fuck am.
Yeah,
I don't know if
gonna
it's tonight, but if it's either tonight or tomorrow, I don't know. I'm very excited.
My fiance doesn't like sports. I don't get to watch it whenever she's around much.
That's a shame. CJ, any good prop bets you want to share? By the way, lots of videos floating around JLo twerking.
Yeah, no. So I actually just watched the film of those, and one of those was actually, the song was called Twerk, and she doesn't even twerk in it. And then the beginning of that other one, it was just her backstage, like, with her friends as a joke.
I haven't actually watched them. I just saw the headlines.
She doesn't do it in public. Yeah, that's all clickbait.
That is clickbait. That's cheap. It's cheap.
So I don't have any funny ones. I was thinking when I was looking at the some of the halftime ones, will JLo do a Selena cover? I know Netflix is doing a Selena documentary pretty soon, so I don't know, maybe I could get like a few verses in there. But that's the only one I really saw that really popped out to me.
Keeks?
I got a couple. I got the under on both number of Instagram posts for Mahomes' unbearable girlfriend and TikTok posts for his awful brother. Because the Instagram one I'm nervous about because I don't know if stories count. Because if stories count, the over-under is 4.5. She's going to knock that out by noon on Sunday, if that's the case. But if we're just talking Instagram posts, which is what it says how many posts on Instagram, how many public posts will she make? I think 4.5 is way too high for, a day that she's obviously going to have a lot going on. She has, people to scream at and bugs to eat or whatever she does. So I'm taking the under there. And TikTok, that one's even easier because, I don't know a lot about TikTok, but I know that you got to record an entire video, put it out there. The little Mahomes has got a big following there, and he's just not going to be throwing together videos willy-nilly. 5.5 is the over-under there, so I'm taking the under there as well. I also like just a couple of random ones. We got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call, so I like yes to mentioning the spread or point total on the broadcast. It's plus 155. I think I'll just throw them a bone. Gambling is becoming more accepted in the sports world. And then the last one, I actually just saw this right before we started recording. I don't typically bet on stuff for the commercials because it's all so predetermined that it just makes me nervous. But you can bet on which is going to come first, Mike Bloomberg commercial or Donald Trump. And Bloomberg is plus 190. And he's just been hounding football commercials the whole postseason, the whole end of the regular season. Too.
He's all over YouTube.
And I think, Trump's going to have something big, but I think he's going to wait till the second half where people are really invested and they're watching their screens and they're waiting. And Bloomberg's going to have 46 different commercials and probably, one right after kickoff. So I think that at plus 190 is a good one.
I feel like I heard Trump's doing a halftime interview. Is that right? With Sean Hannity. Maybe not halftime, but like I feel like Trump's actually doing an interview with Sean Hannity.
Yeah, I think actually I did. I think I saw that too. Yeah.
And the timing of that is interesting though, because they'll do the interview and then his ad's going to play right after. So if it's an early game interview,
it's key. Whenever that is, I agree.
That's going to swing Keegs' bet right there, depending on what the timing of that interview is. Yeah.
Duck, you're deep in the heart of Trump country. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if the local news stations forced Trump on him. He actually didn't win Lexington, but he won Kentucky resoundingly. Yeah, I'm betting on Trump having the first commercial. But the kind of funny one I've got, will there be a Fortnite dance touchdown celebration? And my thought is, God, I hope not.
Oh, man, I hope so.
One, I hate the floss, and two, that game is hot garbage.
That's such a Kelsey thing to do, too.
Oh, yeah, it's Kelsey. Yeah, absolutely.
That is a Kelsey thing to do. You'd be like, I'm going to do a Fortnite dance.
Yeah.
All the kids will love me when I do this Fortnite dance. Look at me floss.
Now you just sound like Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's his Brady sticking voice.
Ooh, ouch. Ooh. Wow. All right. Any other good ones, Duck, or is that it for you?
That was it for me.
Right. Cool, guys. I really enjoyed this. That was a lot of fun.
It was
a great prop bet, spectacular. I enjoyed it just as much for the content as just hearing all these. I like it, CJ. I do hope you'll make a clip of that. That babysitting because it doesn't get much better than that.
And that was the fall of the RSJ. It was never heard of again.
You're gonna be like our super fan, Mikey Nine. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Doing 8 to 12. Anyway.
I've been keeping one in my pocket. The fall of the RSJ is coming right now. I was wanting to say it at the beginning to Nat. Nat, it's nice to see you out of the retirement home. We thank you for getting away from the early bird special, and hopefully your Cialis has not worn off yet.
Oh, God. It never wears off.
Good
rock hard all the time.
Now we definitely are going to be done.
I'm trying to be cool and fit in with you guys.
If my
I
mother
haven't said anything that controversial.
I'm going to get a text. Matthew Gregory.
Who are these degenerates you're hanging out with? Man. CJ looking less and less sketchy every minute of this podcast that goes by. At least it's all relative, folks.
Hey,
all right, guys. It's been a really good time. I'm Nat the Truth Jones, joined by Keegs, Duck, CJ, the Wolf. Wolf, you want to pump your social media, say anything before we take off?
Of course, we are the rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves. This is obviously a little bit of a departure of our usual fantasy football-based content, but it's the best game of the year and our favorite way to cover it. You can also find us at Roto Street Journal on Facebook and Instagram, Roto ST Journal on Twitter. I'm Roto Street Wolf on Twitter if you want to interact, and all these other guys have their handles too, and we just love talking football. We're already pumping out our 2020 stuff and doing huge things this year, so if this is your first time, follow us there, subscribe to the Fantasy Fullback Dive. We're going to pave that path to your 2020 titles.
All right, guys. It's been a blast. We will see you next time. Go Niners.
It was.
That was good, guys.
Oh, yeah. What is this text about Brady retiring?
He just
he posted like an Instagram
cryptic post like it was this.
What?
Adam Schefter